here, come on over to the table. We'll hook you up. But joining us now, he is the Homeowners Association president out here. Craig Sandhaus joins us. Craig, welcome into the golf shop.
Welcome, Craig.
Thank you.
Glad you're here, sir.
So, man, it's good to see this come to fruition today, isn't it? Reopening the golf course.
It is amazing. It has been a long time coming, and we are absolutely elated that the course is in such beautiful shape.
It's gorgeous.
It is great. The SkyTop grill, newly renovated, is wonderful as well. My family and I were here last night for dinner, and I don't think there was a single one of us that had a meal we didn't like. So.
Well, that's good. There's a lot that goes on, and behind the scenes, obviously, to have something like this happen. Kind of take us through. You know, how do you go about doing that? Because, you know, in all honesty, this place needed a little bit of a resurrection, didn't it?
It absolutely did. The story began about a year and a half ago when a homeowner and golfer sent me some information about the golf course possibly being sold for development. Mm-hmm. And as the HOA president, I reached out to the developer, D.R. Bryan, and I asked D.R. for a history lesson on the golf course. Mm-hmm. Could you please tell me what we could do to prevent this from happening? What areas on the golf course cannot be developed? And what protections do we have? And that started the process. Mm-hmm. I then reached out to D.R. Bryan and asked him if he would be willing to buy the golf course. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, Craig, nowadays people don't buy golf courses. But we tried to buy it a couple of years ago, but they didn't like our offer. I then reached out to the owners of Pinnacle Golf, mm-hmm. And I asked them if they'd be interested. And they said the same thing to me. Well, at the time I was meeting with DR, getting a history lesson on the golf course. And I brought Kim Worrell in to meet DR. And I said, I know I'm being a bit of a matchmaker here, mm-hmm. but I think you two and your partners would be perfect for the Skybrook golf course. Would you be interested in buying it? I said, if you wait here a minute, I'll get the books. So I reached out to Mike LaPierre, our manager, and mm-hmm. I brought in the books. And they looked at the course, and they knew, obviously, what the course is worth. And that started the ball rolling. They then said to me, would you be interested in having the Homeowners Association support us? And I said, well, what does that entail? Mm-hmm. So the research then began, mm-hmm. and we had to get all 5 members of the HOA on board. When the board members saw what was at stake and how much our home values were going to be sacrificed if the course went anywhere but a golf course, they joined us. They got on board. And the process for the HOA was a lot of research. What is the average home value in Skybrook? How much would be lost if it went under? And we found out that the average home value was $405,000. Mm-hmm. The average home in a community like ours would lose approximately 20 to 30%.
Wow. Sizable.
That was sizable, and that was research we pulled out from the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal did several articles, and of course there were several golf journals that we read. So when we presented that to the homeowners,
kind of like a no-brainer, I would think.
Right. Even if you know, I'm very conservative. Mm-hmm. So if you then think, well, I don't live on the golf course. We have approximately 260 homes on the golf course itself. What would my home depreciate? Right. Well, if you think, well, maybe only 10%.
Still,
you're losing
40 grand.
You're losing 40 grand. So as time went on, other people expressed interest in the golf course, and we met with other interested parties who wanted to buy it as a golf course and maintain it as a golf course, but they wanted quite a sizable amount of money annually from the HOA, our community. And the board felt with D.R. Bryan Properties, they had a vested interest in Skybrook as they developed it for 18 years. And Kim Worrell and David Taylor are known entities in the golf course industry. And that was really our dream team. But we don't control who buys the golf course.
Right.
Fortunately, David Taylor, John Coley, D.R. Bryan, and Kim Worrell bought the golf course as partners, and they wanted $150,000 to help maintain the golf course from the HOA. And I, as a retired teacher, felt that the best way to accomplish this was to educate the homeowners.
Sure.
If we could educate people and show them that this was truly a win-win for us, it was an insurance policy. We could get the 75% of homeowners to vote yes.
Sure.
And we put together a campaign which was solely based on educating the homeowners. And then we had 67 volunteers, 67 homeowners that volunteered to knock on every door.
Wow.
Wow.
So there are 1,153 homes in
I was going to
Skybrook.
ask you that, yeah.
We knocked on every door.
Wow.
We did a mailing campaign, we did an email campaign, and then we proceeded to knock on every door and educate the homeowners as to what was at stake.
Yeah.
And when it all played out, 3 weeks later after the campaign truly lasted only 3 weeks, we had 923 yes votes, 51 no votes, and then we had homeowners that just abstained to vote. But we had certainly more than the 75% that we needed.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yes.
And that's a good job by you guys for people understanding.
Well, and you know, if I look at it, if I got a home that's valued at $405, and let's say it's 30%, I'm losing 120 grand if I don't do the golf course thing. What is whatever the amount was, $800 to kick back into the golf course for maintenance? It's a no-brainer. I mean, your house is going from $405 to $280, but for $1,000, the value is only going to go up because you kept the golf course. That's how I see it.
That's exactly what we
Right.
said.
Yeah.
It came to roughly, for most of the homeowners, $120 a year.
Okay.
So $10 a month
Wow.
was all you needed to put in. And we had people say, well, I'll certainly give up on my cheeseburger once a month to maintain my home value.
Right.
And we had a guarantee. The owners, I have to say this, they were so willing to work with the homeowners association and all of the homeowners individually when we started meeting in town hall meetings and explaining what was at stake. And homeowners had many questions. The owners met the next morning and said, okay, what could we do to address those concerns? And they were very willing to address every concern that was presented and change the original proposal. So that right now we have a guarantee 10 years, as long as we contribute $150,000 a year as an HOA to the golf course owners, it will be guaranteed to be maintained as a golf course. So our investment is protected.
Right.
So for $10 a month, you have a guaranteed home value that
Can only increase.
and that's what we're seeing. I am a golfer. I teed off Thursday morning, and when I saw the course and what the owners have done over a short period of time,
Right.
I was so impressed.
Yeah.
It for a 10-week period, it's about as close to a private country club course as you could get in 10 weeks.
Right.
It's beautiful. The greens are beautiful. They're rolling great. The clubhouse, for all the homeowners, and let's be realistic, 90% of Skybrook doesn't play golf regularly.
Right, true.
But 100% of Skybrook eats
Yes.
on a regular basis.
You hope, anyway.
Well, we do. And that was a major selling point for the HOA to the owners.
Yeah.
Said, you have to give us a place to call our own.
Yep.
And the homeowners have reached out and are coming here every day since they opened the clubhouse.
What a great story this is.
And
You
we
know,
love it.
And the other thing too is I'm going to kind of disagree to a point when, you were initially talking to people about buying a golf course. Well, people don't buy golf courses anymore. I kind of disagree with
know
that,
about that. All right.
because I think people go out and buy golf courses in certain situations if they see the value of taking a golf course that hasn't been taken care of and they can resurrect it, because there's money to be made in that scenario. Kind of like what happened out here is that you have an opportunity to take a golf course that when it first opened was a really great golf course.
Was.
And you can see the layout, you can see the holes, and you know what? Bermuda grass it takes care of itself. It's really hard to kill Bermuda grass as long as you give it a little bit of TLC. Yeah, there's some money that you have to put into it, but when you change greens over to Bermuda grass, you don't have to have the fans out that you have to have for bent grass. You don't have to water it. You don't have to do all the things that you do.
In this part of the country, you don't have to cover them that much in the wintertime either.
No,
because
but
we
you
don't
have to
get
make
that
sure
many
that
cold
you
days.
cover them, and that's the
Right,
big thing.
yeah.
Is you have to. If there's any question, you need to cover those greens, and that's the only drawback. But if you do things right, you set up a temporary green. People can still go out and play with temporary greens. It's not that bad for a couple days during the winter. So there's things that you have to do to understand. You have to make sure that the greens are prepared and rolling the right speed when they go dormant. And there's some few things, but for the most part, Bermuda grass is a very hardy grass, and it's hard to kill as long as you take care of it as you're supposed to. This place is I played Thursday as well. This place is absolutely phenomenal. The fairways are great. The tee boxes are great. The rough is in great shape. The greens, I hit every putt that I hit. There was not one bounce on any putt that I hit the entire day. It's just, and for the value and for the membership prices right now, people are going to be flocking out here.
Oh, I agree. But now when you look at what the owners have done, and they absolutely put a lot of money into it. It wasn't just greens. They had to repair cart
Right.
paths,
Oh, yeah.
bridges. I
Yes,
mean,
there was a lot of money on the front end, certainly.
They did a lot. And for, as you just said, the value for a membership here, I mean, I'm retired now. I play 4 to 5 days a week.
Wow.
So for me, it's a phenomenal value. But if you don't play that much, as most people don't have that opportunity until they retire, it's still a great value. And I think right now we only have 10 memberships left. The owners have topped it out at 200 memberships, and we're pretty close to that right now.
Fantastic.
It is. It has been wonderful for our community. Everybody is extremely excited. And I'd love for people in the surrounding area to please come here and try Skybrook Golf.
Yep, awesome. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to tell us the story. And, again, we're happy to be out here. Great golf course. Got to play it on Thursday, and you're going to have a great experience. Whether you join or not, come on out and give it a shot. The public is welcome. Go on to the site and sign up for a tee time. So, and again, the website, if you want to get out to it, is skybrookgolf.com. Craig, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so
Craig.
much for giving us the attention.